Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're delighted to be joined over the telephone by Dr. Mostafa Tamam, the Professor of Economics. Dr. Mostafa?
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. Thank you very much for your time, Doctor. Now, let's talk a bit about President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's participation in the World Government Summit that was recently held in the United Arab Emirates. Could you tell us a bit more about the summit and the timing of this gathering, sir?
Well, actually, this is a very important event which took place, especially now that, you see, we have a lot of turbulence worldwide in the economic and in the political scene.
Yes.
We have the war in Ukraine and Russia, and we have the economic problem worldwide. So probably the unity of the Arab countries in this stage is very, very important. And probably the objective of the summit is that we get all together in order, the Arab countries, in order to meet all these challenges.
Indeed. Dr. Mostafa, how can world governments, benefit from each other's experiences and collaborate in different areas, especially in light of the global circumstances?
Well, there are a lot of areas that probably the Arab countries could cooperate. The first one is the agriculture area.
Yes.
Certainly, because probably, I don't know if you're aware that Sudan has a lot of agricultural land,
yes,
which is ready to be cultivated. And certainly we have the manpower and the experience in order to plant these agricultural lands in Sudan. Certainly, if we do this cooperation between these two countries, and this is in the agriculture area, it will give sufficient food supplies for the whole Arab world.
Yes.
This is number one. Number two, certainly, is the industrial field, in which we have a lot of experience in order to erect a lot of projects, industrial projects, to depend, so that the Arab world will depend on itself, not on external factors. And we saw the drawbacks when Europe, you see, was depending on the Russian gas, and they had a problem when Russia cut off the gas, and they faced severe problems. So the same thing, if we all cooperate together, certainly we are depending on ourselves and not concentrating on one country or one continent in our economic strategy.
Yes, absolutely. And we've also seen President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi holding several meetings on the sidelines of the summit. He spoke with the United Arab Emirates President and ruler of Abu Dhabi, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Could you tell us a bit about the talks and what was covered between the two leaders?
Well, certainly the most important was the economic cooperation between the two countries.
Yes.
And certainly the political support, certainly from both countries, on international issues. These were the major areas which were discussed in the summits.
Yes, indeed. How do you think, the President's meeting with him will enhance investments in the coming period, especially as Egypt is seeking to further increase investments from foreign countries in Egypt?
Certainly, this is an important point, but we should realize that there are certain property drawbacks or problems that might encounter investors if they come and invest in any country, which the first one will be the bureaucracy, you see. The second one is the human resources. Unfortunately, we need to upgrade our human resources with new technologies in order to meet the international challenges. And this is very, very important, and probably the state here gave a lot of emphasis in raising the education system and providing technical support in all areas that are important.
Indeed. Finally, Doctor, if I may, how do you see, cooperation between world governments and Arab governments in the coming period, especially when it comes to issues of new renewable green energy, technological transfer, all very, very important and timely issues in light of the global circumstances?
Well, certainly, we have seen cooperation in the gas field, you see, and the energy field.
Yes.
And this was certainly evidenced in the last conference of the climate conference, in which it was discussed to use the energy which are non-polluted. You see, this is very important. And on the other side, certainly, we have a lot of experience in the gas gas projects here in Egypt, which probably could help in other states.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank you very, very much. Dr. Mostafa Tamam, our guest for this morning, our economic expert. Thank you very much, sir, for your time and your insight. Ladies and gentlemen, do stay tuned for more coming your way on this morning's edition of The Breakfast Show.